Right? We gonna get the world, man. We gonna have the world at our feet, man. Immortality. Like Yahweh Shai said, my burden is light. This is light. You're just teaching the word, man. All right? Bringing Israel back to the Father. Through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. What precept the brother got?
Revelation 12.
Oh, yes. That proves that the so-called white man is the devil. Let's read that.
Revelation 12, verse 9. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angel was cast out with him.
Okay, let's read verse 1. Let's get a little further up so people can understand.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. It says, a woman clothed with the sun, and it says, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head. Yeah, with sun and the moon going to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Our sun and the moon. It starts with wisdom in the 7th chapter. Right? Also, you read Isaiah the 60th chapter, a son shall never depart. That's the wisdom. You got a precept? Yeah.
For the stars. Yeah. Genesis 37 in verse 9. It says that he dreamed yet another dream, going to Joseph, and told his brethren, and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars made obeisance to me. Yeah, so the sun, Jacob, the moon is his wife, and the stars being his brothers, the 12 tribes. Right, read on. It says that he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to the earth? Proving that, like brother said, that's what the stars and the sun and moon represented. There you go. So they get Jeremiah 6 and 2. And then we're going to keep reading Revelation 12. What verse like 6 and 2? Jeremiah 6 verse 2? Yeah, 6 and 2. 6 and 2. Yeah. Jeremiah 6 verse 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. Most High compared Israel to a woman. So this is the woman with the 12 stars in her head. It represents the 12 tribes. Let's read though. Revelation 12 again? Yeah. Revelation chapter 12 in verse 1. And there appeared a great woman, like a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. The 12 tribes. Go ahead. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. That child is Yahweh Shai. All right, yeah, let's read on. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon. Which Daniel saw the dragon too. That same dragon is going into what? A kingdom. Right? I saw, man. That red dragon. That red horse, man. Genesis 25 and 25. Yeah. Red all over like a hairy garment. The hairy, that's him. Let's read on. It says, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. Right, and the angel breaks it down in Revelation 17. Yep. These are great kings that shall come out of the earth. 7 heads, the 10 horns is the 10 common markets that made up NATO when they first started. Under the Treaty of Rome. Yup. This was, I think, right after the UN was created. Yep. Right? And then the 7 heads, the Greeks, the Romans, the British, the French, the Spaniards, Germania Minor, Germania Major, and Germania Minor. The 8th head is the whore, aka America. Yep. Let's read on. It says verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. It says, behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. So the dragon was Rome. Let's read on. Yeah. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven. Who's the 3 tribes that he persecuted that was there? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Because that's who was there in Judea at the time when Yahweh Shai was born. Matter of fact, hold that. Read Luke 2 and 1. Luke 2 verse 1, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And this taxing was first made in Cyrenius was governor of Syria. And when all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee and out of the city of Nazareth into Judea, into the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house of the lineage of David. To be taxed was Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. It says, and so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. Right? It says, and she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger.
So during that time, Caesar Augustus passed out a decree, and this is how we fell as a nation, because Israel got tired of the tax. So who came down upon them? Who persecuted them? The Romans.
AHLAYAH said the kingdom of heaven suffered violence,
and the violence took it by force. Yep. So, but how did it start? With the taxes. We just read it. Who started it? Caesar Augustus. The Romans, man. All right, let's continue Revelation 12.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it were born.
There you go. That was to a Herod. All right, read on. And those were Edomites, by the way, as well. Yep. Read on.
And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
Matter of fact, you get to Isaiah 9:16. No, I think 9 and 6. Yeah.
Isaiah 9 verse 6. For unto us the child is born, unto us a son is given.
There you go. AHLAYAH. Let's read on.
And the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace.
The Everlasting Chief or Ruler of Peace. That's his titles. All right, go ahead.
Verse 7. Of the increase of his government and peace shall there be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
That's that child, right? That we read about Revelation, the 12th chapter. All right, let's read back.
It says, and she brought forth a child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. The child was caught up into the Most High, into his throne.
Every another quick precept on.
Yeah, that's Acts the 1st chapter. Yeah.
Other was Psalms.
And he's in Proverbs. He was sending it. What is his name and what is his son's name?
That one too. Yeah,
and even the book of Acts. Yeah.
Psalms 2 and 8. It says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them with pieces like a potter's vessel." And I was pointing. I could have started at verse 7, which says, "I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, Thou my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession." Pretty simple, what the brother just read as well. And ruling the nation rod of iron.
Going back, Revelation chapter 12, in verse 6, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared for. I'm read again. Revelation 12 verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared for them of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,203 score days.
That's the 350 years. You divide that by 360, right? That's 350 years. So we fled into Africa, then we came over here, right? This is the place, man. All right, read on.
And there was war in heaven.
This prophecy didn't happen yet, right? That you can read Revelation 17, 19 chapter when AHLAYAH returned. They're going to try to make war with him. All right, but let's read on.
It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
Then who was that? His military. Okay, but this didn't happen yet. Okay, we are coming into that time.
You match that at 2nd 13th chapter.
Yeah, Revelation 19. Right, when they're gonna so the dragon, he's gonna with his military is gonna fight Michael and his angels, right, underneath AHLAYAH, man. Let's read on.
It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was there found any more in heaven.
His rulership gonna be done. Go ahead.
It says, and the great dragon, it says, was cast out, that old serpent.
And this way you gotta have good teachers to understand the parables and the mysteries, because the dragon, Revelation the 13th chapter, his deadly wound got healed. He came back as what? As the beast. Read Revelation the 14th chapter. The whore that controls him is America. As you get further on in the book of Revelation, start expounding on it, right? So the dragon and the beast is one. See, this is Rome reincarnated. See, but this prophecy didn't happen yet. But let's read on though. Let's read.
It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan.
There you go. So it calls him the devil and Satan. It means what? He's a deceiver. And this is not talking about Satan himself, man. Okay? People have no understanding, man. Satan ain't fighting Michael in the heavens, man. People say, oh, this happened, but that never happened. Satan, you read the book of Job. Satan and Most High talking, man. Satan works for the Most High, man. Okay? So this is talking about when the Lord returns. It's going to be a great war in heaven between Esau's military and Yahushua. All right, let's read on.
It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil.
So you people ask, why you call the white man the devil? Well, we're reading it. We're reading it. The scripture calls him the devil, man. And it calls him Satan, man. And it calls him that old serpent. Because he is that serpent that was in the garden, man. And he was Cain, man. You had the philosophical with the serpent, and you had the bloody, violent, immoral beast with Cain, man. All right, what you got?
It says, which deceived the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him.
His military. All right, read on.
And I heard a loud voice saying, in heaven now is come salvation and strength, in the kingdom of our power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuse of our brethren is cast down.
There you go. Aishah is accused of the brethren, man. See, he set up these different traps for you Jakes to fall and accuse you, man, because he wants his birthright back. All right, go ahead.
It says, for the accuse of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony.
There you go. What we doing right now.
Right.
Yahushua's blood gives us the victory and the word of our testimony. Us doing this work, man. So people look at all this insignificant, you guys wasting your time. You're a goddamn fool. This is how we gonna get the victory. By the word of his testimony. By exalting our power. Right? And he's gonna hear us, Isaiah 19, and he's gonna come save us, man. We just read, let the king hear us when we call, man. We just read that, man.
That's right.
All right, go ahead.
It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death.
Yeah, there you go. So he put us in them camps, and he put the guillotine on us. We gonna how you call it, take our death manfully, man. I was thinking about the end of Revelation 12, because it further expounded the point above with the wilderness. Yeah.
The precept I had on that was I think I just had it too.
Because the scripture, you see, goes back and forth. Yeah. First it goes into the third part, how the Romans did. Then it jumps way into the future that hasn't happened yet. Michael and his thing, how we overcame the beast, but then it goes back into the past again. See, that's how the book is written. You can jump down to verse 14. Because it goes into the wilderness, yeah.
Revelation chapter 12, in verse 14. And so the women were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into a place where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time.
350 years.
Of the serpent.
There you go. All right? 200, 100, half a time, 50. Sure. 350 years from the face of the serpent. This is right here. Right here. So we fled into the wilderness. Africa, they're here. This is that place, man. Okay? Read on.
It says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water. It says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth.
Yeah, our people, because they fled. When you go into the history of the diaspora, Jake fled there into Europe, Africa, right? They escaped the serpent and even got advantage over him to some degree when you read Revelation, the 20th chapter. You see? And then the Lord came down, and then, what's that? Revelation 20. The Lord binded the serpent for a time, but then he loosed him out of his prison. Okay, let's read on.
It says, verse 16, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh.
The elect, man. So where is main adversary, man? Because this, you can't just explain it at once. You got to go through precept to precept, right? When you read Revelation, the 20th chapter, you got put in a bottomless pit. That was Europe, right? And the Lord said he unloosed his prison for a little season. So after he fell for those period of 1,000 years, that's the earth helping the woman. We escaped to different parts, got rulership, right? But then he got loosed again. And now he's loose. Now he's after what? The remnant of her seed. Those that keep the commandments. That's like what the brother got.
The precept I had too, because also we jump at the top. There's 2 for going to Yahushua as well. They fled to Egypt. Parents. So I don't gotta get it. Matthew 2 verse 13 to 14, because you also further expounded on also going to us as well. The Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I finished that out.
Yeah.
Revelation 12 verse 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant for seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh and had the testimony of Yahweh Shah Mashiach.
It's the elect. That's the remnant. The remnant of her seed is the elect. The elect is one that's the person who just acts and keeping faith in Yahweh Shah. Okay, the woman being the whole nation of Israel, man. Okay?
Yeah.
Straight to the wilderness, right here. For to tell you, times, and dividing of the times. After that, 350 years. And then you jump back to the chapter before. It tells you after those 350 years, was that Revelation 11? That the spirit of life will enter into us. So after the spirit of life entered into this, when you jump back to Revelation 12, it tells you that he will make war with the remnant of a seed, those that keep the command. But you see, it jumps back and forth.
That's right.
Then you got to go to Revelation 20 to understand he went down, but he was loosed a little season. After the 1,000 years, he came out of his prison, and he went back to those flood of lies again, man. See, but the scripture's written that way because it's not meant for the average person to get it anyway. We went to the give the average person, yo, break down Revelation for me. They're like, and that's a blessing, man. Because you go to any biblical seminary, we looked up Revelation 9. Remember, they said the most scariest chapter in the Bible. You see a demon, one of Satan's top generals. Yo, they showed Apollyon. You see some demon with a crown. They're like one of Satan's top generals. Yo, we were laughing, man. You people are crazy, man. You're crazy, man. All right, that's going into World War I, man.
Yeah.
See? What do you got?
A quick precept what you just said through the Spirit concerning the blessing of understanding these breakdowns of scriptures. Isaiah 28 verse 9, the classic, it says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, and here a little, line upon line, here a little, and there a little. But it's broken down through the Spirit. It jumps. You got here a little, there a little. Precept upon precept, line upon line. All right, that's what vocab is. Weird ass. We're trying to call it hops to God's doctrine. Just shut up. So that's how you bring down. That's how you understand this puzzle.
So like the Apostle Paul did that. He would is what you would label as Hebrew hopscotch. Because when you read his epistles, he always quoted a scripture from the Old Testament. There were certain times when he quoted one scripture from the Old Testament, and in the very next precept, he quoted another scripture from the Old Testament.
That's right. So that's how brothers went to the whole verse 12 just now, or the whole chapter now through the Spirit. Okay, and when here a little, there a little, to break their understanding, and I further expounded on who the dragon is today. All right, the Roman Empire today being revised. That's the 10 toes. All right, NATO EU, the beast set up in these last days, the 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, the 7 heads, we brothers broke down already. The Romans, the Greeks, the French, the British, Jermaine Minor, Jermaine Major, and I think it's the Greeks. Okay, so you got 7, and the 8th came out of Great Britain. You know what I'm saying? Which is the 13 colonies that started America, Babylon the Great, which is the horde that rise upon that beast. Okay, then we understand that the 10 horns were the first top 10 that started the EU, the EEC. All right, the European Union under the Treaty of Rome. So in this Roman, the deadly one was healed, showing you the time that we're living in today. And then the second chapter, you know what? The stone that cut out with our hands is coming to smite the image upon his feet. What? So when I look at Yahweh Shai, the stone represents Yahweh Shai. All right, going to Book of Corinthians, you know, he's that rock. Okay, when he returns, he will destroy this current system. And then it said that rock became a great mountain. You know, mountain represents government in scriptures. We read it, Isaiah the 9th chapter, verse 6, that the government be upon his shoulders, which is really the throne of David, which he's going to sit upon. Right? That mountain became, that rock, that stone became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. Meaning what? The Lord go forth out of Zion. That's the government and rulership of the kingdom of heaven. So once you understand these prophecies, we understand the time you're living in today. We're in a time of the Roman Empire being revised and about to fall. All right, Lord, how shall about to return? All right, in the midst of us, we got the knowledge back. We're prophesying. They're angry with us. They want to make war with us and harm us. But in the day, Yahweh Shai will deliver his elect. Okay, then establish the kingdom of heaven. That's how we intend.
That's a blessing to understand the secrets.
Blessing.
This is